Not all suitcases are designed to make travel easier. Some are actually built with features that quietly make trips more stressful, uncomfortable, and frustrating than they ever need to be. From wheels that stop rolling in the middle of airports, to zippers that break when you need them most, to smart features that end up causing more problems than convenience, many luggage brands sell flashy upgrades that look amazing online but become travel nightmares in real life. And the worst part? Most travelers don't realize how bad these features are until they're already stuck dragging a broken bag through terminals, paying overweight fees, or fighting with airport security. In this video, we're exposing 10 luggage features that sound helpful, but will absolutely drive you crazy while traveling. These are the designs that slow you down, damage your belongings, and turn simple trips into stressful experiences. If you're planning to buy a new suitcase soon, this list could save you hundreds of dollars and countless headaches. And even if you already own luggage, you might finally understand why traveling feels harder than it should. Before we reveal the luggage features you should always avoid, make sure to like this video if you enjoy honest travel advice that saves you time and money, and subscribe to the channel for real-world travel tips, packing hacks, airline secrets, and gear advice that actually works. Turn on notifications so you never miss a travel upgrade. Now let's break down the luggage features you should never, ever buy. Feature 1. Two-wheel roller bags that drag instead of glide. One of the most frustrating luggage features you can possibly buy is the old-style two-wheel roller suitcase. These bags might look sturdy and affordable, but in real travel situations, they quickly become a nightmare. Instead of gliding smoothly beside you, two-wheel bags must be tilted and dragged behind your body. This constant pulling puts strain on your arm, shoulder, and lower back, especially during long walks through massive airports, train stations, and city streets. The real problem appears when surfaces change. Airport terminals may be smooth, but sidewalks, carpets, cobblestones, parking lots, and hotel floors quickly turn rolling into dragging. The wheels snag on cracks, vibrate over bumps, and force you to lift the suitcase repeatedly. Over time, this becomes exhausting and irritating, especially when you're rushing to catch flights. Two-wheel luggage also limits maneuverability. Tight airplane aisles, crowded boarding areas, and packed security lines become awkward as the bag trails far behind you, constantly bumping into people and seats. You can't pivot easily, spin around corners, or push it upright the way you can with four-wheel spinner bags. Another issue is uneven weight distribution. Because the bag is always tilted, all pressure sits on the wheels and handle joint. This causes faster wear and tear, leading to broken handles, cracked wheel mounts, and sudden failures mid-trip, the worst time for luggage to collapse. Modern four-wheel spinner suitcases roll upright beside you in any direction with minimal effort. Once travelers switch, they almost never go back. Many older luggage designs from companies like Samsonite originally popularized two-wheel rollers decades ago, but travel environments have changed. Airports are bigger, walking distances are longer, and travelers carry heavier loads. If your bag requires pulling instead of guiding, it's already working against you. Two-wheel luggage might seem cheaper up front, but the discomfort, inconvenience, and higher breakage rate make it one of the worst travel features still being sold today. Feature 2. Built-in hard-shell front pockets that kill your packing space. Some modern suitcases advertise hard-shell front pockets as a smart feature for laptops, documents, and quick access items. While it looks sleek and futuristic online, in real travel, this design creates more problems than convenience. The biggest issue is lost interior space. Hard-shell front compartments steal volume directly from the main packing area. Even though the suitcase exterior stays the same size, you suddenly lose a significant chunk of usable room. This forces tighter packing, wrinkled clothes, and often overweight bags because you're cramming items into less space. Weight balance becomes another major problem. When you place electronics or heavy items in the front shell pocket, the bag becomes front-heavy. This makes it tip over constantly while standing, fall forward in security lines, and feel awkward to roll. Many travelers find themselves fighting their suitcase every few minutes just to keep it upright. Security is also an issue. Front pockets are easier for thieves to access in crowded terminals. Unlike main compartments that face your body, front sections often sit outward where you can't see them. Then there's the reality of airport security. Electronics stored in rigid front pockets still often need to be removed at checkpoints. Instead of opening one main zipper, you now deal with extra compartments, awkward angles, and tight clearances that slow everything down. Hard-shell front pockets also crack more easily because they're thinner than the main body shell. Repeated pressure from laptops combined with baggage handling can lead to fractures and broken panels. Some trendy luggage brands such as Away helped popularize this design style. And while it looks modern, many frequent travelers end up regretting it after just a few trips. Soft external pockets on fabric bags make sense, but rigid front shells almost always reduce comfort, space, and durability. In practice, this convenience feature quietly makes packing harder bags heavier, and travel more stressful. Feature 3. Cheap zippers that jam, split, or explode. Mid-trip, one of the fastest ways a trip turns into a disaster is when a suitcase zipper fails. And unfortunately, many luggage brands quietly cut costs by installing low-quality zippers that simply aren't built for real travel stress. These cheap zippers might feel fine when the bag is empty, but once packed full and handled roughly by airports, they become ticking time bombs. The first warning sign is resistance. You start pulling harder just to close the bag. Then the zipper teeth misalign, the track warps, and suddenly the zipper splits open even when fully closed. Many travelers experience that awful moment when clothes start spilling out in the middle of an airport terminal. Some zippers don't just jam, they completely detach from the fabric, rip open under pressure, or snap off entirely. Once this happens, the suitcase becomes nearly unusable. Travelers are forced to tape bags shut, wrap them in plastic at airports, or buy emergency replacement luggage mid-trip, all unnecessary expenses and stress. The worst part is that many of these failures happen during baggage handling, when bags are stacked tightly or thrown onto conveyors. The pressure on weak zippers is extreme, and cheap materials simply can't handle it. High-quality luggage uses reinforced, double coil, or security zippers designed to withstand tension. But budget models often skip this to lower production costs. A suitcase can look stylish, sturdy, and expensive, but if the zipper is weak, the entire bag is weak. This is one of the most common luggage failures worldwide, and once it happens, there's usually no quick fix. If you're shopping for luggage, the zipper should be one of the first things you test, because when it fails, your trip feels like it's falling apart. Feature 4. Decorative hardshells that crack under real travel pressure. Hardshell luggage looks sleek, modern, and protective, but not all shells are built the same. Many suitcases use thin, brittle plastic shells designed to look tough while actually being fragile under real travel conditions. These bags crack from minor drops, pressure in cargo holds, and stacking during baggage handling. Hairline fractures start forming after just a few trips, eventually turning into large splits that expose your belongings. Unlike fabric luggage that flexes slightly under pressure, cheap hard shells absorb shock directly, which leads to cracking instead of bending. Once cracked, the structure weakens quickly and continues breaking over time. Many travelers only notice damage when retrieving their bag at baggage claim. Long scratches, crushed corners, dents, or full cracks along seams. Another issue is temperature sensitivity. Cheap plastic shells become brittle in cold climates and softer in extreme heat, increasing breakage risks during winter travel or hot tarmac conditions. Premium luggage uses polycarbonate or layered composite materials that flex and rebound instead of shatter. But many budget brands use thin ABS plastic that cracks easily while still being marketed as hard shell. When a hard shell suitcase breaks, repair is nearly impossible. You usually must replace the entire bag. So while hard shells can be excellent when built properly, decorative thin shells are one of the biggest luggage traps on the market. They look strong, but fail fast. Feature 5. Non-replaceable wheels that wear out. Way too fast. Wheels are one of the most abused parts of any suitcase, yet many luggage brands permanently attach cheap plastic wheels that cannot be replaced when they wear down. At first, they roll smoothly, but after just a few trips across airport floors, sidewalks, curbs, and rough surfaces, they start grinding, wobbling, sticking, and eventually breaking altogether. Once one wheel fails, the entire suitcase becomes painful to use. It drags sideways, tips constantly, and forces you to carry extra weight through terminals. Travelers often end up lifting one corner just to keep it rolling straight. The real frustration comes when you realize the wheels can't be repaired. Even though the rest of the suitcase may be perfectly fine, you're forced to replace the entire bag simply because of worn wheels. This turns what should be a long-term purchase into a short-term expense. Cheap wheels also struggle with uneven surfaces. They catch on cracks, vibrate loudly across tile floors, and lock up on carpets. In crowded airports, this slows you down and increases stress while rushing for flights. High-quality luggage uses rubberized, ball-bearing spinner wheels that glide quietly and are often replaceable. Budget designs skip these features to save money. If you can't remove and replace wheels easily, that suitcase is already on a countdown clock. Wheels should extend the life of your luggage, not shorten it. Feature 6. Built-in weight scales that add bulk but rarely help. Some suitcases advertise built-in digital weight scales as a high-tech feature meant to prevent overweight baggage fees. In reality, these systems usually create more problems than solutions. First, they add unnecessary weight to the suitcase itself, meaning you lose valuable packing capacity before even putting clothes inside. Many of these scale mechanisms weigh several pounds, quietly increasing your risk of overweight charges rather than reducing it. Second, accuracy is often questionable. Travelers frequently report inconsistent readings depending on how the bag is lifted, angled, or balanced. A bag might read under the limit at home, but exceed weight at the airport scale. Third, lifting heavy luggage just to activate the scale is awkward and uncomfortable, especially for travelers with back or shoulder strain. Battery issues also arise. Dead batteries mid-trip render the scale useless, turning it into dead weight you're still carrying. In real travel situations, most people end up using airport scales or hotel luggage scales anyway, because they trust those readings more. A small portable luggage scale weighs almost nothing, costs far less, and works more reliably, making built-in suitcase scales an over-engineered gimmick. What sounds like a smart feature ends up wasting space, adding weight, and offering little real value. Sometimes simpler is far better. Feature 7. Overcomplicated lock systems that slow you down, jam constantly, and fail when you need them. Most built-in suitcase locks are marketed as premium protection, a sleek, modern upgrade that promises security and peace of mind. But in real travel situations, many of these over-designed lock systems become one of the most irritating luggage features imaginable. What should be simple turns into a constant source of delays, panic, and malfunction. The first issue is mechanical fragility. These locks are exposed to dust, moisture, pressure, vibration, and temperature changes in cargo holds and airports. Over time, internal parts shift, plastic gears grind down, and metal components bend slightly out of alignment. The result? Locks that stick, refuse to open, or jam halfway through turning the code. Many travelers experience the nightmare moment of standing in an airport hotel room, exhausted, unable to open their suitcase because the lock has seized. Some are forced to break their own luggage open, destroying the lock entirely just to access their belongings. Another major problem is speed. When you need to open your bag quickly at security checkpoints or during inspections, these tiny buttons, stiff sliders, and miniature number dials slow everything down. Under pressure, fingers slip, codes misturn, locks reset accidentally. Suddenly, a quick unzip becomes a stressful, minute-long struggle while people line up behind you. Overcomplicated locks also give a false sense of security. Most are made of thin plastic internals that can be popped open with simple tools, while still managing to inconvenience the owner far more than any thief. Then there's the human factor. Forgotten combinations. Travelers set codes in a rush, change them while tired, or accidentally bump the reset switch without realizing it. Many don't discover the mistake until the lock won't open mid-trip. What makes it worse is that once these locks fail, repairs are nearly impossible. They're built into the suitcase frame, meaning one broken mechanism can render the entire bag unreliable forever. Simple external locks or basic integrated designs work fine. But when brands try to add futuristic multi-button systems, sliding panels, or fancy dial clusters, reliability drops dramatically. Security should reduce stress, not create it. If a suitcase lock requires more than a second to operate smoothly, it's already too complicated for real-world travel. Over time, these premium features become the very thing travelers curse every trip. Feature 8. Weak telescoping handles that wobble, stick, collapse, and ruin every walk through the airport. A suitcase handle may look like a small component, but when it fails, the entire travel experience collapses with it. And unfortunately, many luggage brands use thin, lightweight telescoping handles that simply aren't built for heavy loads and constant use. At first, everything feels fine. The handle slides up smoothly, locks into place, and rolls comfortably. But after several trips, tiny weaknesses start to appear. The rails loosen, the locking mechanism softens, the metal flexes under pressure. Soon, the handle begins wobbling side to side. This wobble forces you to constantly adjust your grip just to keep the bag moving straight. Over long airport walks, this becomes exhausting. Next comes sticking. The handle jams halfway when extending or retracting, forcing you to yank it repeatedly while standing in crowded terminals. Sometimes it locks unevenly, one rail higher than the other, throwing off balance completely. Then comes the worst moment: collapse. Cheap handles often fail to lock firmly into position. As you're walking, the button releases slightly, and the handle suddenly drops downward. The suitcase lunges forward, crashes into your leg, or tips sideways into other travelers. This isn't just annoying, it's dangerous in crowded spaces. Another major issue is bending. When suitcases are heavy, low-quality aluminum rails flex. Once bent even slightly, the handle will never slide smoothly again. Each extension becomes harder. Each retraction requires force. Eventually, it gets stuck permanently. Because these handles are built into the suitcase frame, replacing them is expensive or impossible. A broken handle often means replacing the entire bag. High-quality luggage uses reinforced rails, thicker metal tubing, strong locking springs, and tight alignment tolerances. Budget designs skip these features to reduce cost and weight, and travelers pay the price in frustration. When a handle fails, rolling becomes dragging. Dragging becomes lifting. Lifting becomes exhaustion. A suitcase with a bad handle turns every airport into a workout you never wanted. No matter how nice the wheels or shell look, if the handle isn't rock solid, the luggage will never feel smooth to travel with. Handles are the control center of your suitcase, and weak ones ruin the entire experience. Feature 9. Overstuffing expansion zippers that destroy your bag and trigger fees. Expandable luggage sounds like a dream feature. One quick unzip and suddenly you have more packing space. Perfect for souvenirs, extra clothes, or shopping abroad. But in reality, expansion zippers are one of the biggest luggage traps on the market. The moment you expand your suitcase, several problems begin. First, weight skyrockets. That extra space encourages overpacking, pushing bags straight past airline weight limits. What felt like a helpful feature suddenly turns into unexpected overweight baggage fees at the airport, sometimes costing more than the suitcase itself. Second, expanded bags become structurally weak. The zipper section is almost always the weakest part of the suitcase. When expanded, it's under extreme tension from tightly packed items and pressure from baggage handling. This dramatically increases the risk of zipper blowouts, torn fabric, and split seams. Many travelers experience this exact nightmare. They expand the bag for the return trip, pack it tight, and somewhere between check-in and baggage claim, the zipper bursts open. Clothes spill out, items go missing, and the suitcase arrives damaged beyond repair. Expanded luggage is also harder to roll. The uneven weight distribution makes bags tip forward, wobble on spinner wheels, and drag awkwardly behind you. Another issue is fit. Expanded bags often exceed airline size limits for carry-ons and sometimes even checked baggage. Gate agents may force travelers to check bags unexpectedly, causing delays and extra fees. What looks like flexibility is actually a stress multiplier. High-quality luggage from brands like Rimowa and Tumi often avoid aggressive expansion systems entirely, focusing instead on durable fixed structures that protect contents and maintain balance. Frequent travelers quickly learn that smart packing beats expandable chaos every time. If a suitcase encourages overfilling, it's not helping you travel. It's setting you up for frustration, damage, and extra costs. Expandable zippers may sell bags in stores, but in real travel, they're one of the fastest ways to ruin a trip. Feature 10. Ultralight. Featherweight bags that sacrifice durability for marketing. Everyone wants lighter luggage. Brands advertise ultralight suitcases as modern travel miracles, promising effortless rolling and maximum packing weight. But many of these featherweight designs achieve low weight by cutting durability to dangerous levels. Thin shells, minimal reinforcement, weak corner protection, cheap materials. At first, these bags feel amazing. You lift them easily. They glide smoothly when empty. But after just a few trips, problems begin to appear. Corners crack, fabric tears, frames bend, handles loosen, wheels break faster. Zippers stretch under pressure. Why? Because ultralight luggage often can't handle real airport abuse. Bags are stacked, dropped, crushed, shoved into cargo holds, and slammed onto conveyor belts thousands of times per year. Durable luggage is built to absorb shock. Featherweight bags absorb nothing. They simply break. Another issue is protection. Thin walls offer little cushioning for electronics, souvenirs, and fragile items. Travelers frequently discover broken bottles, crushed shoes, shattered gifts, and damaged equipment inside lightweight cases. Lightweight designs also flex excessively when packed full, putting pressure on seams and zippers until failure occurs. Many people end up replacing ultralight luggage within a year or two, spending far more over time than if they'd purchased a sturdier suitcase once. True premium luggage balances weight and durability carefully, but many budget brands push lightweight as a selling point while quietly sacrificing lifespan. In travel, durability always beats a few saved pounds. A slightly heavier bag that lasts 10 years is far better than a fragile one that fails mid-trip. When luggage feels suspiciously light, it's often because something important is missing: strength. If this video opened your eyes to how many luggage features actually make travel harder instead of easier, you're already traveling smarter than most people in the airport. So many travelers blame stress on flying itself: long lines, broken bags, overweight fees, and chaotic packing, without realizing that the wrong suitcase quietly causes half the frustration. From weak wheels and exploding zippers to fake lightweight designs and expandable disasters, you've now seen how flashy marketing often hides the worst travel problems. And once you know what to avoid, you'll never shop for luggage the same way again. Imagine gliding through airports without dragging broken bags, worrying about cracked shells, or repacking at the check-in counter. Imagine trips where your suitcase actually works with you instead of against you. That's what smart travel choices create: smoother journeys, lower stress, and more enjoyable adventures from start to finish. If this video helped you save money, avoid travel disasters, or rethink your luggage choices, make sure to hit the like button right now. It tells us you want more real-world travel advice, the kind that actually makes trips easier instead of selling gimmicks. And if you love learning insider travel tips, airline hacks, packing strategies, airport shortcuts, and gear advice that truly works, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We post new travel content regularly to help you travel smarter, cheaper, and more comfortably every single time you fly. Turn on notifications so you never miss a tip that could save you hundreds of dollars or hours of stress. Also, be sure to share this video with friends or family who are about to buy new luggage. You might save them from making an expensive mistake they'll regret on their next trip. And drop a comment below telling us which luggage feature surprised you the most, or which one you've personally dealt with. Your experiences help other travelers avoid the same problems. Thanks for watching, safe travels, and remember, the right travel choices don't just make trips easier, they transform the entire journey. We'll see you in the next video.